I'd say welcome to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, and if this is going to be a rather somber occasion here, for a lot of reasons. I'm shooting this on Sunday morning on Mother's Day, and like I said, this is a somber occasion right now because let me take you back to my sordid youth. I don't even know if I was a teenager at this point. I remember coming home from school and there was a monster movie on Channel 7 called The Day the World Ended, which basically scared the shit out of me. But when the credits rolled, something stuck in my mind. The director of that film was Roger Corman. A couple of weeks later, Attack of the Crab Monsters and Not of This Earth ran on $1 Million Movie on Channel 9 for 7 days straight each. Again, both directed by Roger Corman. So as a young kid, I sort of connected Roger Corman with American International Pictures. So anything I saw that had Roger Corman's name on it, I watched and I enjoyed, because I honestly don't think Roger had ever made a bad movie. Unfortunately, I woke up today with the news that a lot of us woke up to, that Roger Corman had passed away at age 98. If anyone had a huge influence on filmmaking for decades, it was Roger Corman. The amount of people and careers that he launched is amazing today. And, it's just how much stuff this man has given us, how much he's accomplished, what a legacy he has left us. He saw the potential in two guys that basically were known as heavies in the 50s, Charles Bronson and Lee Van Cleef respectively, and cast them in the leads in Bronson and Machine Gun Kelly, and Lee Van Cleef in It Conquered the World. Others came and went, but how many careers and has he launched as far as any of this stuff goes? I mean, Peter Fonda, like I said, Bronson, Lee Van Cleef, Bruce Dern, Jack Nicholson, Dennis Hopper, directors like Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Joe Dante, and more. His collaborations with John Ashley and Eddie Romero in the Philippines, directing Sid Haig and many others in New World Pictures. Basically encompassing every genre we could think of, from crime to horror to sci-fi to westerns to dramas to everything. I mean, Corman was it as far as I'm concerned, and with his passing, it sort of marks the definite end of an era, because, like he said, when they came out with Jaws and Star Wars, he said they finally figured it out. They got his formula, and his formula that worked for decades. How many companies has he owned? New World Pictures, New Horizons, New Concord, whatever. The man was just a machine as far as turning out product and turning out careers. And it's just, will he be mentioned tonight on the news as a passing? Who knows? I mean, they sort of shuffled guys like him and a lot of other people that should have some recognition off to the side because they're not, quote, huge names anymore. Corman will always be a huge name in my mind, and probably in the minds of a lot of people out there. I only had one interaction with Roger in person, and that's when he was brought to Chiller Theater. I introduced him to the fans at one point. The other thing was, and this is kind of comical, he was getting paid off by the promoter, Kevin Clement, in his hotel room. And Kevin asked me to go up there because he was carrying the money just in case. And we were sitting there, and here's Kevin counting out the money, and I'm looking at Roger, and Roger is counting the money with his eyes. And I sat there and said, you know something? This is like a scene out of one of your movies. And he cracked up. And I also had the privilege of driving him back to the airport to catch his flight with Mike Rainey from Something Weird Video, and the banter between those two was kind of funny. But, now we come full circle. We're basically, hate to say it, we've just lost just about everybody from that era. I think, I could be wrong, but I think the only guy still around is Jonathan Hayes. And, like I said, Corman collaborated with many people, screenwriters, Leo Gordon, Mel Wells. It just was this whole cadre of guys back in the 50s that were just trying to make, low budget movies and having a lot of fun doing it. And like I said, Roger transcended all that. He became like this iconic figure in many of our eyes as the guy who basically started all this stuff, you know, and all of his films basically ran on the 42nd Street grindhouses, the drive-ins all through New Jersey, all over the place. His Poe films were classic. His collaborations with Vincent Price were classic. I mean, everything the man did. I can't remember a bad movie that he did. It's just, you know, I think, you know, I remember Sid Haig telling me that he owed a lot to the Cormans in general. Then he told me about the whole, when he did Galaxy of Terror, and he got his lines, and he just looked at the lines, and he said, called Roger up, and he goes, Roger, I'm not reading this shit. This is fucking horrible. So basically, Roger gave him one line, and he played the rest of it silent in Galaxy of Terror. Like I said, I could spend hours here going over the careers that he launched and stuff like that, but right now I just want to pay homage to the man, a man who I completely respected, a man who gave me such joy growing up with, you know, his films and monster movies and stuff like that. And it just saddens me that, you know, it's all over. And I know a lot of this shit will be erased in time. I see it now. Things are disappearing. Things just aren't like they used to be. The things that a lot of us thought that would stay around forever aren't staying around forever anymore. And that's part of the purpose of what I do, is to keep these memories alive. But, you know, right about now I'm wondering who's going to keep it alive after I'm gone. And unfortunately, none of us are promised tomorrow. I don't even know who's left from that era except for Bill Greffe, and he's up there in age too. So, Mr. Corman, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for making movie going a pleasure and a lot of fun, and thank you for your never-ending creativity, and thank you for all the great talent, great actors, directors, producers, and writers that have basically gone under your wing and have become huge successes. So, all I can say is rest in peace, Roger, and as long as I'm around, you will never be forgotten, and none of these guys will ever be forgotten. So, my friends, until next time, stay safe. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.